Welcome to Supercharged Web Scraping with Async.io. So what is web scraping? Well, it's pretty simple. We open up a web page and extract data that we want using a programming language. Now, in our case, we're going to be using Python, of course. So then the question should be, what is supercharged web scraping? Well, when it comes to web scraping, there's a couple challenges that arise. One of them is these JavaScript heavy web pages. So ones that actually load data dynamically through JavaScript after the page loads, right? So you'll notice these with the loading page and whatnot. So to actually solve this without asynchronous code, we use something called Selenium and Chrome Driver. These tools make it really easy to actually wait for that page to finish loading and then extract the data we want after that. But a whole new challenge comes in when we introduce the concept of asynchronous web scraping. So we use Async.io to actually do the asynchronous portion, and then we use something called Arsenic to replace what Selenium does. So Arsenic does what Selenium does in asynchronous code. So you might be wondering, well, what's asynchronous code? I don't fully understand that. Well, that's a big part of this series. We want to show you what asynchronous code is. But generally speaking, it's this. Now, if you're playing a game of chess, you usually play your first game of chess, then your second game of chess, then your third game of chess. You do them one after another. That is all in one sequence, but you actually finish one game prior to starting the next game. Now, asynchronous code would look at this same idea with switching between games while you're playing all of them. It's not like you're cloning yourself 3 times to play all 3 of them at the same time. Instead, what you're doing is you're playing game 1, you make a move, and then you move to game 2, you make a move, game 3, you make a move, and then you go all the way back to game 1 and make your next move, and so on. Right? So that is the idea of concurrent programming, which is what Async.io does. It allows us to switch between functions, or it does it for us actually, switching between functions and running those at various times. So this is actually really useful for web scraping because every web page is going to take different time on how it actually runs, but then also we can scrape multiple web pages at once that are JavaScript enabled by using Async.io and Arsenic. This combination, I think, is amazing. Now, if you actually want to see this in action, take a look at the demo video. I actually show you exactly how to do it. You can download the code and run it right now. There's a few installations you'll need to do, but the general idea is there, and you can do it right now prior to even taking the course. So let's go ahead and try out that demo. And then in the next part, what we're going to do is talk about the requirements to be successful in this series, because this is certainly not for beginners. You want to have some pretty familiar with Python prior to jumping into this asynchronous stuff. Now, like always, I go step by step. So even if you did want to jump in and you're a little bit of a beginner, this is going to be like diving into the deep end. So let's go ahead and get started.